It is 8 o'clock in the East Coast right now. No better place to be on Earth than sitting in a studio in New York looking at pictures of Washington, D.C. Welcome back to CNN's special coverage of the annual White House Correspondents Dinner. I'm John Berman. We are expecting President Obama to enter the room at any minute. Elvis in the building, almost, we are told. Already, we've seen some of the biggest names in Hollywood, entertainment, and beyond, mixing it up with political figures as well. Look at the red carpet, the fabulous red carpet. The dinner is set to get underway in a few short moments. We don't have the menu. I'm curious what they're serving. A little later, we're going to take you inside. The president, he gives the first speech, the first comedic speech. Then Larry Wilmore gets to take his stab at bringing down the House, as it were. He is the roast master of the night. A full night of festivities ahead. We will cover every moment. Let's bring in our guest, Brad Jenkins, executive producer for Funny or Die. Kate Anderson Brower, her book, The Residence, is about life inside the White House. Chapters on the writing of the president's speech at the White House Correspondent Dinner. She just also published her book, First Women, about America's modern first ladies. Also with us, CNN political commentators Mark Lamont Hill, Kayleigh McEnany, and Buck Sexton. This, as we've been saying, is an historic night. Mark Lamont Hill. It is President Obama's final White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Yes.
He is the nation's first black president, the last Correspondents' Dinner for the first black president, the roast master, Larry Wilmore himself, an African-American comedian. So one way or another, history will be made tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, a whole bunch of history is happening here. And I think the content will also be historic. This will be the blackest. This will be the blackest bit you'll ever see, the blackest routine in stand-up history in terms of correspondence dinners. I think it's going to be incredibly rich, incredibly fun. And what I've watched over the years is they brought in more technology, they brought in more props, more people, because it's hard to do this thing 8 times in a row and do it well. And so you're going to see even more stuff. I think it's going to be really exciting. I think Larry's going to do a great job, and I think President Obama is going to really do an extraordinary job tonight.
You're calling for special effects. You're saying
Yes.
It's not just enough to have comedy. You need special effects as well.
You need special effects. I need CGI in the room. I need something extraordinary tonight.
Careful, holograms here at CNN. We're not so sure. Brad, putting together this dinner, you know, you've worked in the White House. I am curious about how much work really goes into it. I've heard hundreds of jokes are written from comedians, but also, you know, from current and former staff. You know, I heard Dan Pfeiffer's been writing jokes. David Axelrod's been writing jokes. Jon Favreau, his first speechwriter.
John Lovett,
been writing jokes. So everyone's sending in information. I mean, how do you call it? How do you narrow it down?
a lot of jokes come in, and most get cut to the floor, which is great. But no, as Mark said, you got to mix it up, right? Last year we had Luther, the anger translator,
Yes.
who dropped the mic with the president. I do expect that you have to move just beyond the, set up punchline. You got to use video. You got to use some props. So it's going to be fun. I am expecting some surprises. I don't want to let any cats out of the bag. But I'm expecting some.
You know something.
One of the surprises, and we asked because we talked to Josh Earnest. Jeff Zeleny interviewed Josh Earnest. One of the surprises we're told will not happen is the First Lady, Michelle Obama, will not speak. Does she like comedy? I mean, does she like roasting? Does she like this type of event?
I mean, I think she and the president do have a great sense of humor, but I think that she does take some of it personally. I know some of the personal things that have been said about the president, for instance, the citizenship stuff from Donald Trump, is something that she finds hard to forgive. I mean, she's not really in the D.C. political scene, She can't wait to leave the White House. And so I don't think this is a night that she particularly looks forward to, no.
But the president does usually bring it when he speaks at this dinner. We have some clips of some of his finer moments. Let's watch.
I am Barack Obama. Most of you covered me. All of you voted for me. Apologies to the Fox table. Where are they? I have to confess I really did not want to be here tonight, but I knew I had to come. Just one more problem that I've inherited from George W. Bush. Jonas Brothers are here. They're out there somewhere. Sasha and Malia are huge fans, but boys don't get any ideas. I have 2 words for you: predator drones. You will never see it coming. You think I'm joking? I've even let down my key core constituency, movie stars. Just the other day, Matt Damon. I love Matt Damon. Love the guy. Matt Damon said he was disappointed in my performance. Well, Matt, I just saw the Adjustment Bureau, so right back at you, buddy. 4 years ago, I was a Washington outsider. 4 years later, I'm at this dinner. 4 years ago, I looked like this. Today, I look like this. And 4 years from now, I will look like this. Thank you, everybody. How do you like my new entrance music? Rush Limbaugh warned you about this. Second term, baby. We're changing things around here a little bit. Of course, we rolled out healthcare.gov. That could have gone better. In 2008, my slogan was, yes, we can. In 2013, my slogan was, Control, Alt, Delete. And I'm feeling sorry, believe it or not, for the Speaker of the House as well. These days, the House Republicans actually give John Boehner a harder time than they give me. Which means orange really is the new black. I am determined to make the most of every moment I have left. After the midterm elections, my advisors asked me, Mr. President, do you have a bucket list? And I said, well, I have something that rhymes with bucket list. Take executive action on immigration? Bucket. New climate regulations? Bucket. It's the right thing to do.
All right, President Obama there, from the time when he was 11 years old and first in the White House, his first White House Correspondents Dinner, to last year. And this year will be his final address before that collection in the room of correspondents, Hollywood celebrities, politicians. You see it right there. The presidential race, Buck, is a subject that I think will come up. I think the president, I think Larry Wilmore, will talk a lot about it. What are you expecting from him along those lines?
Well, he's got a lot of territory, and this is speaking as a conservative and as a Republican, a lot of territory to work with when it comes to the GOP, that's for sure. Both the race that's already occurred and also what's still going on now. So, I mean, he's got a lot of jokes to make. I mean, we could probably go backstage and come up with a pretty good top 10 list about things that are happening in the GOP race that are crazy. I'd be much more curious to see what he does on the Democrat side of things with Bernie Sanders.
Bernie will be there, yeah.
Bernie Sanders, who will be there, by the way,
exactly.
who obviously has sort of revived some of SNL's fortunes recently, and also I think it'll be interesting to see what he does about Hillary.
Hillary Clinton
is going to be the place where I'm most curious to see if he's unwilling to make any jokes that are just maybe a little bit, require a little bit of acceptance from the room. I wonder about.
Show of hands, who thinks he's going after Hillary, at least with a couple of serious.
Is there going to be an email joke, is what I want to know.
Will there be an email joke?
I think they're very afraid of that.
You think they're afraid of going after Hillary?
They don't like any sort of suggestion that there is a rift between them or that they don't get along. I can't really see them. If he does it, I think it'll be really muted.
That's what I mean. You can expect very gentle and therefore probably not funny Hillary jokes. But everybody else, Bernie Sanders jokes are going to be hilarious, I would assume. And I can't even begin to say what's going to happen with
And
Trump.
Kayla, we're waiting on the president right now. Kayla, we know he's coming for your guy. We know Donald Trump's going to be talking.
Yeah, hey, he's provided a lot of material, I will say. I think he's going to go after his Twitter feed. There's no doubt about it. I think, as Buck said, the GOP has a lot of material, from Ted Cruz doing the silly little basketball thing last week to Donald Trump and the many things that he's
To announcing a running mate. I mean,
but hey, you know what? Tonight
that's
is true. When you're losing.
You have 4 delegates and you announce a running mate. They're going to be jokes.
For sure. Tonight is the night where everyone laughs at themselves. I suspect Donald Trump will watch this and he will laugh right alongside the president.
Oh, yeah.
That's just what tonight's about. You make jokes about yourself and others.
Laugh at himself, though?
No, he won't.
All right, guys, stand by. No better tease than a John Kasich tease right there. We're waiting on the president's arrival. He's about to enter that room. We'll bring that to you the minute it happens. Meanwhile, we'll look at stars from Party of 5. That's Nev Campbell right there. Scott Wolf, we're going to find out if he's there as soon as we can. And the guy who went on to being Lost, too. We're looking for him. Is a White House Correspondents Dinner is an attack in 2011 to blame for Donald Trump's presidential run now? We'll talk about that next.